last February 2017, Paul and I went to Barcelona, Spain. We went to the Mobile World Congress for the world, where the biggest convention of mobile phone industry executives had gathered. On the opening day, the opening session was devoted to the global brain.
Right.
So we're sitting there going, oh my, what is happening here? They're talking about a global brain. And then after a couple of days, you and I figured out what's happening, that the phone industry, the mobile phone industry, has been tasked with the responsibility of building out the digital, electronic, neurological nerve system
That's right.
of the global brain. They're not building the global brain. They're building the nerves that run to the global brain. Okay, the global brain will be artificial intelligence, but the phone companies are putting in the neurological nerve lines. Okay, that's going to be through 5G, the gathering of information. That's going to come from billions and billions of microchips in every single object that's manufactured, sending data to the global brain.
So imagine a computer that could access that data, look at all the possible scenarios at one moment, and give you a decision on what to do next. It's almost incomprehensible.
It really is. It's far out. It's too far out.
Now, do you think, artificial intelligence has to live on something somewhere. Do you think D-Wave computers could be the home that artificial intelligence sits in or is working on?
Well, it certainly is possible. D-Wave has sold their computers.
I don't know what D-Wave is.
D-Wave, this is a company. They make quantum computers. They've sold these massive computers to NASA, Google, Lockheed Martin, DARPA, and U.S. government agencies. How much do these computers cost, Eric?
One sold last year for $15 million.
So between the machines we build and conventional computers. This is what they look like. There are two of them. These are from our lab in Burnaby in British Columbia. From the outside, they look like giant black monoliths, big metal boxes. So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god.
So Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is a very interesting guy, was reciting this parable at a TED Talk that he was giving, and it goes something like this. So I'm the President of the United States. So I received this message from the heavens. So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You got to be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race beamed down a message to all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership is landing right on the front lawn of the White House or wherever you wanted to land on that day. The amount of resources that would be marshaled to try to figure out what to do would encompass the whole world. AI is just like that. So when this thing that I'm talking about happens, it's going to be exactly the thing that you're thinking about those super intelligent AIs. So the one thing I can tell you is they're not going to be like us. So alien means, different. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens. And they're going to be, I'm sorry to say, way smarter than every single person in this room in ways that we can't even comprehend. So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon, who says things like this, like, when you do this, beware. Because you think, just like the guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to have your holy water out, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say and not one thing more, but it never works out that way. So this is an attitude that some are having, this emerging alarmism about the way this is going to go. But these words, demons, doesn't capture the essence of what's happening here. I don't know if any of you are turn-of-the-century weird fiction fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. So this transition is really, really massively important for our entire species to navigate. And going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background while people bicker about politics and what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the US. And underneath it all is this rising tsunami that, if we're not careful, is going to wipe us all out.